It's the early 1970s. A young man in Chicago, Richard Dennis, borrows $1,600 from his family. He spends $1,200 of it to buy a seat on the Mid-America Commodity Exchange, and with just the remaining $400, he begins trading. Fast forward about a decade, and that $400 has grown into an estimated $200 million. That's not a typo. That's the legendary story of Richard Dennis, the Prince of the Pit. But the real magic isn't just his personal wealth. It's what he proved, that anyone, with the right system and the right discipline, could be taught to trade. This led to his famous turtle trading experiment. Dennis bet his partner, William Eckhart, that great traders were made, not born. He took a group of absolute novices, people with no finance background, like a drama teacher and a security guard, and taught them his system. In 4 years, those persons collectively earned over $175 million. Today, we're cracking the code on that success. We're revealing the 4 foundational rules of the turtle trading system, the principles that allowed a group of beginners to beat the Wall Street pros and turn Richard Dennis's $400 into a colossal fortune. These rules are timeless, and they are the blueprint for systematic, unemotional trading. So, let's get into it. Rule number 1, the survival rule. Richard Dennis had a saying that every trader needs to hear. I always have a worst-case plan. While everyone else was dreaming about profits, Dennis was planning for losses. Here's the truth. You cannot make millions if you blow up your account first. You have to survive in the market before you can make a profit. And that's why Dennis never entered a trade without a stop-loss. This is the survival rule, and it's the foundation of everything else. Think of it like this. Trading without a stop-loss is like driving without brakes. You're just hoping nothing bad happens. And hope is not a strategy. Dennis used the 2% rule. He never risked more than 2% of his capital on any single trade. If he had $10,000 in his account, he risked maximum $200 per trade. If he had $1 million, he risked maximum $20,000. This sounds conservative, but here's the genius. If you risk 2% per trade, you can be wrong 20 times in a row and still have 67% of your money left. This gives you incredible staying power. Most traders think a stop-loss means you're expecting to lose. Wrong. A stop-loss means you're planning to survive. During the 1987 market crash, while other traders lost everything, Dennis survived because every position had a predetermined exit. He took losses, yes, but he lived to trade another day. This is where most traders fail. They let small losses turn into catastrophic ones because they can't admit they were wrong. They hold on to losing positions, watching their account slowly bleed out, always thinking the market will eventually prove them right. As Dennis always said, the first loss is the best loss. Small losses are acceptable. They're part of the game. But big losses will destroy you. They'll destroy your capital, your confidence, and your ability to come back. Rule number 2, ride the trend, don't fight it. Now we come to the rule that really made Dennis his fortune. This sounds so simple that most people dismiss it, but simplicity is where the power lies. While everyone else was trying to pick tops and bottoms, Dennis did something radically simple. He followed the market's actual direction. His approach was beautifully straightforward. When a market broke above its 20-day high, he bought. When it broke below its 20-day low, he sold short. No predictions, no opinions, no complicated analysis, just following price. Here's why this works. Markets trend about 30% of the time, and during these periods, prices can move dramatically. Dennis understood he didn't need to catch every move. He just needed to catch the big ones. Let me share his most famous trade. In the 1970s, Dennis rode soybeans from $3 to over $12. That's a 300% gain. Most traders would have sold at $4 or $5 or $6. But Dennis stayed with the trend until it actually ended. Now, here's the part most people can't handle. Following trends means being wrong a lot. Dennis lost money on 60% of his trades, but the winners were so much bigger than the losers that it didn't matter. He might lose 1% 6 times, then make 5% 4 times. The math is beautiful. The key insight? Trends are like ocean currents. Fighting them is exhausting and pointless, but flowing with them takes you exactly where you want to go. Rule number 3. Trade with a system, not emotions. This might be the most important rule of all. Richard Dennis was a systematic trader, which means every decision was based on predetermined rules, not gut feelings or emotions. Here's what Dennis understood. Your emotions will destroy you in trading. When you're scared, you exit winners too early. When you're greedy, You hold losers too long. When you're angry, you make terrible revenge trades. The solution? Remove emotions entirely. Trade with a system. He developed specific entry signals, exit signals, position sizing formulas, and risk management rules. Then he followed them religiously, no matter what. Dennis eliminated emotions from the equation. When his system gave a signal, he took the trade. When it said exit, he exited. He didn't second guess. He didn't cherry pick the signals he liked. He didn't skip trades because he had a bad feeling. Most importantly, having a system gave Dennis confidence during drawdowns. Every trader faces losing streaks. Without a system, these periods cause panic. But Dennis knew his system had positive expectancy over time, so he just kept following the rules. Rule number 4. In profits, sit on your hands. Now we come to the rule that separates good traders from legendary traders. When you're in profit, sit on your hands and let your profits run. This is probably the hardest rule to follow. When you have a winning position, there's an overwhelming urge to do something, to take profits, to move your stop closer, to lock in gains before they disappear. But Dennis knew that all of this activity usually makes things worse, not better. Here's what Dennis understood that most traders don't. You don't need to be right most of the time. You just need your winners to be much bigger than your losers. Dennis often said he was right only 40% of the time, but his average winner was at least 2, 3, or even 5 times bigger than his average loser. Most traders do the opposite. They take profits quickly because they're afraid of giving them back, but they hold losers hoping they'll turn around. This is exactly backwards. Here's why sitting on your hands works. Big trends take time to develop. A market doesn't go from $5 to $15 in a straight line. It moves up, pulls back, consolidates, moves up again. If you're constantly fiddling with your position during these normal fluctuations, you'll inevitably exit too early. Dennis had a perfect example of this. He once held a sugar position for 11 months. 11 months of doing nothing while the position worked. Most traders can't sit still for 11 hours, let alone 11 months. But that patience is exactly what allowed him to capture massive moves and turn thousands into millions. But here's the key distinction. Sitting on your hands doesn't mean being passive about risk management. Dennis still had his stops in place. He used trailing stops to protect profits and moved his stop loss higher as the trend progressed. But these were systematic adjustments based on predetermined rules, not emotional reactions to daily fluctuations. He never exited just because he'd made a certain amount. He let the market tell him when the trend was over. So, how these rules work together? These 4 rules are like gears in a machine. Each one needs the others. The survival rule keeps you in the game long enough to benefit from trends. You can't ride trends if you've blown up your account. Riding trends gives you something to work with. That's where the real money is made. Trading systematically lets you actually implement the other rules without emotion sabotaging you. And sitting on your hands in profits turns good trades into life-changing trades. These rules aren't exciting. They're not complicated, but they work. Richard Dennis proved it. The turtle traders proved it. And traders around the world continue to prove it every single day. The question is, will you follow them? Because knowing these rules is easy. Actually following them when your money is on the line? That's what separates the amateurs from the professionals. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. And let me know in the comments, which of these 4 rules do you struggle with the most? See you in the next video.